So that kind of brings us up to now, to be honest. So right now I am still working for my cousin. However, instead of 2 times a week, I actually work 3 days a week. When I started working 3 days a week, I was getting up at 6 a.m. every day with the goal of getting up at 5, which is a big change from getting up at like 9 and 10 every day. So because I was doing that literally every single day, every weekday, every weekend, I practically had a whole day extra. So working that 3rd day wasn't taken away from any of the time that I was putting into my own brand and my own kind of goals. I kind of fell off a little bit. I do want to get back on. He actually has another business now. So I basically work 50-50 between the estate agent and Crossroads Housing. Crossroads Housing is a supported housing provider. So basically we provide housing for homeless people, and we provide support so that we can try and get them back into employment or into permanent housing. One day I might go in and the focus is more the Crossroads side of things, kind of doing referrals, calling people up. And the other side of things might be me literally going to the properties, doing the photography for like a new property to let or for sale, doing the videos, editing the videos, putting the videos on like Zoopla. I am not a videographer, I am not a photographer, but it has definitely helped me kind of build those skills, and I definitely feel like they've helped me with the social media side of things. I've learned a lot of transferable skills. So yeah, in addition to that, I've also dabbled in other like startup businesses that I'll probably go into more in depth in another video maybe. One of the things I struggle with is time management and just like keeping track of everything. Like it's a lot having the social media, and then having the Gordon Brooks and the Crossroads, and then also having like some other side hustles that I have, like the customs or the Tipsy Club. Just figuring all these things out, it can sometimes get a bit overwhelming. I often feel like I'm just spreading myself a little bit too thin. Just to jump back to the social media for a second, to be super transparent, I haven't earned loads of money from the social media, but I'd say since the start I have earned probably about £1,000. Most of it has been through producing content for brands, like for other brands to use on their social media rather than mine. It's definitely going in a direction that I'm happy with. That's a little bit about me at the moment. I am now also thinking about like what type of investments I want to do. So towards the end of last year, I really had a goal of having my own unit. So going back to the supported housing thing that I mentioned, what that would mean is I kind of do a rent to rent on a property, get it all up to scratch, do all the kind of like the compliance stuff such as fire doors, if it doesn't already have it, smoke alarms, any kind of like light refurb that it needs to be aesthetically pleasing for whoever lives there, and then hand it over to Crossroads to do like the management side and provide the support. One, it's like it would be quite a lucrative investment, and two, it's an investment with purpose, because in the process of making the investment I'm literally helping people hopefully change their lives. It is very rewarding being in the office sometimes and hearing that ex-tenant is like in a rehab facility, or ex-tenant is moving out because they've just got a full-time job, especially in the pandemic when everyone's like struggling. So yeah, that was one of my goals to have by the end of last year, but unfortunately that didn't really happen. One of the reasons is because I just couldn't really find a unit. I did actually find a suitable property that the landlord was willing to hand over, etc. But then the refurb costs were coming out at like 10 grand, and I did have like partners for that and it would have been fine, but on the investment side of things, it would have meant that the return wasn't that great. It wasn't really what I was looking for, so I decided not to go ahead with it. I still am going to do it at some point. One thing I've spoke about to my cousin is that I feel like when something good happens to me, something always like happens that it doesn't happen. With this example specifically, I was about to go into like an investment that I've been wanting to do for over a year, probably just under a year. Found the property, funds isn't the issue, I've been saving for this moment forever, business partners in place, properties in place, landlords in place, everything's great, we know how to provide the support, all that kind of stuff, and then the provider says that we're not accepting properties. Like, does anyone else feel like that? Whenever you achieve something, it's always like something that humbles you and says like, brings you back down to reality. I don't know, like it always happens with me. Like even with modelling jobs, one of the biggest modelling jobs I had happened, and then it was supposed to be this really exciting thing, but then they didn't use me in the content So then that kind of took away the novelty. But then a year later I found out that they actually did use me in the content, but then now it's a legal issue because they breached contracts, and like, it's just always like nothing ever happens smoothly. But yeah, so that's what's happening right now. So that's been a bit frustrating as of late because this makeup look is just not what I wanted it to be. And I'm sure everything will happen in its time, and I'm sure there's plenty of other properties out there and plenty of other opportunities. Now I'm kind of thinking of other ways, because obviously the things that I do right now are unpredictable in the sense that modelling jobs can come in just whenever they come in. Like I can't predict my monthly wage. Having an investment that creates a better and more predictable cash flow is really ideal for me right now, whether that's a supported housing or not. Like, I'm trying to figure out how I can regulate my income essentially. I will continue to work with my cousin, one for just life experience, but two because I learned so much in regards to just life in general, business related and non-business related. Also stay in the loop with investment opportunities. I do want to move out. I'm currently living with my mum. I do want to move out. I did say by the end of the year, but the year's going very quickly. We may need to revisit that goal. Okay, so my lashes are on. When I started modelling, everyone used to always tell me like, oh yeah, you'll get so much free clothes. I rarely ever get free clothes, but one thing I do get is free lashes, because when you leave at the end of the day, you always leave with a pair of lashes. Not too bad considering I was distracted. So this is the part I was dreading, to be honest. The hair. Oh, it does smell really nice though. I use the Blueberry Bliss Curl Control Jelly by Curls for the first time, which was sent to me. Not by Curls, that was sent by like a hair product retailer, and I literally only use that product. So to be honest, I'm quite impressed with what it's done. I don't think it would make my wash and goes last very long. Bearing in mind I did this yesterday. It's actually not as bad as I anticipated. What I'm going to do is I'm going to spritz it with water, which will help it kind of fall a little bit better. This is quite cute. So yeah, that was my video today. I hope that it was somewhat insightful. Definitely want to be a lot more transparent on YouTube, so let me know if you enjoyed the video. Let me know if there's any areas in particular that you want me to talk about more or kind of show more on my channel. And yeah, thank you for watching.